Chapter 2, The Promise of Youth and the Weight of Becoming, Part 2. There are moments in life when success arrives wearing the face of disappointment. Being selected for the Ad Hoc Ex-Country Scholarship should have been one of the happiest moments of my life. After months of uncertainty, I had finally earned a place that many students dreamed of. It felt like every late night of studying, every sacrifice my family had made, and every setback I had endured had finally led to something extraordinary. But life has a way of asking questions that no examination ever prepares us to answer. The scholarship required 6 years of study abroad. It was an incredible opportunity, yet it came at a time when my family was facing one of the darkest periods in our lives. My father's health had begun to decline. At first, we convinced ourselves that it was temporary. Families often do that. We cling to hope because the alternative is too frightening to imagine. Every phone call from home carried a mixture of reassurance and quiet concern. He's feeling a little better today. The doctor has given him new medicine. Don't worry too much. But behind those comforting words, I sensed something that no one wanted to admit. Things were getting worse. The thought of leaving Bhutan for 6 years suddenly became unbearable. Even if I managed to study abroad, how could I focus knowing that my family was struggling without me? Financially, we were already stretched to our limits. Although the scholarship covered education, life overseas would still require expenses that my family could scarcely afford. For days, I wrestled with the decision. Friends congratulated me. Some envied my opportunity. Others encouraged me to accept it without hesitation. "You'll regret it if you don't go," one friend told me. Perhaps he was right. But life is rarely as simple as choosing between a good option and a bad one. Sometimes the hardest decisions are between two things you desperately want. I wanted an education. I also wanted to be a son. Eventually, responsibility won. With a heavy heart, I declined the scholarship. No ceremony marked that decision. No one applauded the sacrifice. There was only silence. The kind of silence that follows when a dream quietly slips away. I remember returning home that evening, with my thoughts weighing more heavily than the bag hanging from my shoulder. The streets of Thimphu were busy as usual. Cars moved through intersections, people laughed with friends, shopkeepers greeted customers, and life continued with remarkable indifference. It amazed me how the world could remain so normal while someone's future was changing completely. When I reached the house, I quietly entered without saying much. My siblings noticed that something was wrong. Usually, I spoke about scholarship updates with excitement. That evening, I said nothing. I sat alone in one corner of the room. For a long time, I simply stared at the floor. Eventually, the emotions I had tried to control finally overcame me. I cried. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. The kind of tears that come after carrying too much for too long. My eldest brother walked into the room. He looked at me for a moment before speaking. "Bro." I quickly wiped my face. He smiled gently. "Are you crying?" Embarrassed, I looked away. "No," I replied, forcing a small laugh. "I just have a running nose." He knew I was lying. I knew he knew. But neither of us pushed the conversation further. Sometimes love does not ask for explanations. Sometimes it simply sits beside you in silence until you are ready to stand again. That evening has remained with me throughout my life. Not because I cried, but because I realized that strength is not the absence of tears. Strength is choosing to continue after them. With the overseas opportunity gone, I had no choice but to accept the remaining in-country government scholarship. Months earlier, I had rejected several local offers while waiting for something bigger. Now, life had circled back to where it had begun. This time, however, I accepted with gratitude instead of expectation. I had learned a lesson that would stay with me forever. Sometimes the opportunity we overlook eventually becomes the opportunity that saves us. Yet another challenge remained. University would not begin for several months. During that time, I needed money. Government scholarships could cover tuition, but they could not eliminate every expense. There would be transportation costs, books, stationery, clothing, daily necessities, and countless small expenses that slowly accumulated into overwhelming burdens. I had no savings. My family had none either. If I wanted to begin university with even a small sense of security, I would have to earn it myself. About 4 months before university began, an unexpected phone call arrived. It was from a friend. "Are you free?" he asked. I think so. There's wage work available. What kind? We're digging holes, I laughed. Holes? For a tree plantation project. How much does it pay? He told me the amount. Without thinking twice, I accepted. The next morning, before sunrise, I reported for work. The task sounded simple, dig holes. In reality, it demanded everything the body could give. The ground was hard. Some areas were filled with stones. Others had thick roots buried beneath the soil. Each hole required strength, patience, and determination. We were paid according to our output. The more holes we completed, the more we earned. Every minute mattered. Every hole counted. There was no shortcut, only effort. The days quickly settled into a relentless rhythm. Wake before dawn, travel to the worksite, lift the pickaxe, strike the earth, dig, measure, move, repeat, hour after hour, day after day. The summer sun showed no mercy. By midday, sweat soaked through my clothes. My hands developed blisters that eventually hardened into calluses. My back ached constantly, and every evening my muscles felt as though they no longer belonged to me. Yet each morning I returned, not because I enjoyed the work, because I needed it. Every hole represented another small step toward my education. Whenever exhaustion tempted me to slow down, I reminded myself why I was there. This wasn't simply manual labor. I was digging the foundation of my future. One afternoon, while taking a short break, I looked around at the workers beside me. Some were experienced laborers. Others were students like me. Many had families depending on their income. Despite our different backgrounds, we shared the same language that day. Hard work. No one complained much. There wasn't enough energy left for complaining. Instead, we encouraged one another. Just a few more. We're almost done. Keep going. Those simple words carried surprising power. I began to understand that resilience is often built collectively. People survive difficult seasons not only through personal determination, but also through the encouragement of others walking the same difficult road. After 11 demanding days, the work came to an end. When I received my wages, I counted the money several times. New, 39,000. To many people, it might not have seemed extraordinary. To me, it felt life-changing. Never before had I earned so much through my own effort. I held the money carefully, remembering every blister, every aching muscle, every drop of sweat that had helped create it. That income represented more than currency. It represented dignity. For the first time, I truly understood the value of earning something through honest labor. The money would help purchase the essentials I needed before university. Books, clothes, supplies, transportation. Every item carried the memory of those 11 days beneath the sun. The digging project was connected to something much larger than I had initially realized. Bhutan was preparing to attempt its first Guinness World Record in celebration of the 60th birth anniversary of His Majesty the 4th Druk Gyalpo, Jigme Singye Wangchuk. The goal sounded almost impossible. 100 volunteers would plant tens of thousands of trees within a single hour. The preparation had taken weeks. Thousands of planting holes needed to be completed before the official attempt. I had unknowingly become part of something historic. When the day of the event finally arrived, excitement spread throughout Thimphu. People gathered long before the official start. Volunteers lined up across the prepared fields. Government officials, organizers, and supporters moved quickly, ensuring everything was ready. Among the volunteers, I felt both proud and humbled. I was only one individual among many, yet together, we were about to accomplish something no one could achieve alone. Then the signal was given. For the next 60 minutes, time seemed to disappear. Hands moved rapidly. Seedlings were placed into prepared holes. Soil was pressed firmly around young trees. People encouraged one another without stopping. No one wanted to waste even a second. When the hour ended, everyone stood exhausted. Then the announcement came. Bhutan had successfully planted 49,672 trees in 1 hour by exactly 100 volunteers, achieving its first Guinness World Record. Cheers erupted across the field. People embraced one another. Some cried with happiness. Standing there, covered in dirt and sweat, I realized something beautiful. The holes I had spent 11 exhausting days digging were no longer just holes. They had become the foundation of history. The event also gave me opportunities I had never expected. I briefly met individuals involved in national development initiatives and had the privilege of seeing members of the royal family and distinguished guests supporting the occasion. The encounters lasted only moments, yet they left a lasting impression. For someone who had come from a small village with limited opportunities, it was inspiring to witness how ordinary citizens could contribute to extraordinary achievements. That experience planted another idea within me. No contribution is ever truly small. History is often remembered through remarkable events, but remarkable events are built from thousands of ordinary acts performed faithfully by ordinary people. After the tree plantation project ended, I continued searching for any work I could find. Construction sites, daily wage labor, loading materials, cleaning, carrying equipment, anything honest. There was no room for pride, only purpose. Whenever friends asked why I worked so much before university even began, I smiled, because university starts long before the first lecture. At the time, they laughed. Years later, I realized how true those words were. Education begins with preparation. Sometimes that preparation happens inside a classroom. Sometimes it happens holding a shovel beneath the summer sun. Eventually, the day I had imagined for years finally arrived: university. As I packed my belongings, I looked once more at the money I had earned. Most of it would disappear quickly. Expenses had a way of multiplying faster than income. Still, I felt ready, or at least I believed I was. Walking onto campus for the first time filled me with emotions I struggled to describe. Excitement, gratitude, nervousness, hope. Students from every corner of Bhutan filled the grounds. Some arrived confidently with their families. Others looked as uncertain as I felt. For many, university represented independence. For me, it represented survival. Very quickly, reality replaced excitement. Assignments arrived almost immediately. Lectures demanded constant attention. Books cost money. Transportation required planning. Meals had to be budgeted carefully. Every expense forced another calculation. Could I afford this today? Would I still have enough next week? I soon realized that many of my classmates could devote themselves entirely to their studies. I admired them. I envied them. But my circumstances were different. While they worried about grades, I often worried about both grades and groceries. While they rested during weekends, I searched for work. University was no longer just an academic journey. It had become a daily balancing act between education and survival. Yet, despite the exhaustion, something inside me refused to surrender. Every hardship I had already overcome reminded me that I belonged there just as much as anyone else. I had not arrived by accident. I had earned my place with examination papers, difficult decisions, blistered hands, and the determination to keep moving forward even when the future remained uncertain. Little did I know, however, that the greatest challenges of my university years had not yet begun. The most difficult lessons would not come from textbooks. They would come from life itself. End of part 2.